lot of the work I do is on urban agriculture, working with community-based organizations who do gardening and farming.
And that's been at the heart of what we do. We can't make change happen, we're just victims of this world, and saying we can actually make something happen.
And so my goal is to foster approaches to the climate crisis that also build wealth and power and protect the rights of working people, people of color across the world.
I'm a staff attorney at the Public Interest Law Center. At the Law Center, we use a law and organizing approach to environmental justice law. So one of the things I've done over the past 4 years is work with communities to really get legal rights, to preserve spaces that are deeply rooted but are still tenuous in terms of land tenure. I feel very connected to this community, to this organization, and I have ever since I moved to Philadelphia. So in that way, it feels great. And then on the other hand, I feel like any of the work that I've done is so collaborative that it's really not so much about me, but about partnership, about relationships, and about something that's much bigger than me. I was drawn to environmental justice work not just because I care about the substantive issues, not just because I care about environmental health or people living in natural and built environments that are healthy for them, but because I'm drawn to the dynamics and the really strategic relationship between the grassroots groups and advocates.
Earthquaker Action Team uses nonviolent direct action to challenge corporations to take action on economic and environmental injustice.
That's one of the big things for us, that the economy and the environment are really linked in everything that we do. And so when we say economic and environmental justice, we often say eco-justice, to say that we really want to make sure that the economic part is very clear, and that when we talk about environmental justice, people are at the center of that change also.
Receiving this award, it feels really honoring and validating, recognizing EQAT's ability to empower people and organize our community.
We're unique in that we go after that intersection, and we're really grateful to have a granting group that also shares that mission and is willing to support us in being as bold as we can be.
The other day, I was talking to a friend about receiving this award, and she said, I give to Bread and Roses because I really trust them to distribute resources in Philadelphia to organizations that are making change. And so for me, that was really great to hear about being part of the Bread and Roses community that's part of a wider network of powerful social justice organizations.
So I'm involved with projects that focus particularly on climate change. And as I see it, climate change harms everyone, but it disproportionately harms people who have the least power, wealth, and resources in society. Poor people, working people, people of color here in Philadelphia, around the country, and globally. We're looking to build policies that foster economic and social justice while also protecting a livable climate. I feel very honored, really thrilled to be recognized, and was really excited to see the other award winners and to be recognized in their company. And I felt really kind of hopeful and excited that Bread and Roses was focusing on environmental justice this year, and hoping that it would bring positive attention to the particular projects that I'm involved with, but more broadly to bring more attention to the intersections between the environmental crisis, the climate crisis, and the crises of poverty and racism and inequality that we're struggling with here in Philadelphia.
We activate community on local, regional, and in some instances national issues pertaining to environmental justice issues.
So it's important and it's vital for us to keep the movement, I'd like to call it a movement, of environmental justice, and making sure that we advocate clean air, clean food, clean fuel, everything that affects your health. We all breathe the same air, so we are all sharing the same space, which I think makes us true community. So we can't separate.
Having our work recognized by Bread and Roses is very gratifying. It helps to increase our visibility, it increases our accountability, and hopefully it will enhance our opportunities to seek funding to continue this very valuable work.
I realize the power that Bread and Roses has on other community groups and can have. And so it's just leveraging all of that to a bigger, broader audience. And EFNC, our role, we're part of that energy, and that's a great feeling as well. And so kudos to Bread and Roses for being able to do that, and hopefully being able to somehow help another community who might be in a similar situation as Eastwick.
And I remember that one of the first organizations that we belonged to was the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. They invited us, both of us, to be part of their advisory board. And that was my initiation in this, what we are calling environmental justice. Then I used to work at North Square Neighborhood Project, which is an environmental center. And I used to do lessons on the census and lessons on recycling, all that type. But when we went to the schools to do these lessons, I knew that it was always a group of children that they couldn't understand what was happening around them. And I was like, this is it. This is my opportunity. I will go and ask them questions, make them feel comfortable, and you saw their eyes opening, like, and that what it started for me. It gave me the idea of create this program, and then it was the opportunity to start doing gardens. There was a lot of good people in the community, and through gardening, like I used to say at the Horticultural Society, since horticulture was a big word for me, so then I said I could concentrate on the culture, and then the horti came later.
I used to work at a school near here, and we got the children involved, and then because they used to go to North Square, and Iris was, she was working in North Square, so she got the children, she got the neighborhood, she got all of us involved, and that's how we all got involved in the gardening.
I think the gardens, they bring justice to the community because, like I mentioned before, I was nothing else. And the garden was that place. And it honestly was the only place in the community that we could be free and we could dream. And you know that everything starts with that, with a dream. So it was incredible. It was just incredible how much, because it was not only gardening, since we knew that was the only thing in the community, then it was open for any kind of discussion or project or people coming in and out. It was just freedom.
The respect that the neighborhood received, after all those gardens and everything, after all the drugs and everything, I think it was wonderful.
That award, what it does is to put this community, it's not me, it's to put this community in front of many people, and then those eyes are gonna be in this community, and then it will be the opportunity to talk about the needs. We have a lot of people that they have a lot of dreams, but the problem is that nobody wants to hear about those dreams. And that will be the beginning of very exciting programs in this community.